Hey guys, so we're going to do a reading tonight, of course, or else I wouldn't be up here. We're going to kind of look a little bit at the Laundrie family. I'm trying to do reads. I don't want to repeat reads. One of the things to know in tarot, it's not a good idea to read the same question. Okay, so that's one of the things. And I know I've seen some readers on YouTube doing a read. Some do a part one and two. As long as you're not doing the same question, you're okay. This one, I'm going to kind of focus on the fam. Now, a little bit of Brian too. If he's got to pop in there. I do want to also focus on him as well. I want to kind of try to get a little bit in his mind. Like, was he already going dark? Now, I'm not necessarily saying he completely planned, but, not initially when they first went on the trip. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. But there's a lot of things like certain images on his Instagram were kind of creepy. There was one of a bloody wolf and the wolf, there was a bloody wolf, and then the wolf is wearing a jacket that says sheep, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And then some of the books he read, and that's what the Dog the Bounty Hunter, was talking about, was some of the books that he would talk about reading and things, on like his Instagram and his various stuff, was some dark stuff, even about people disappearing in the wilderness and weird things, or people being killed or this or that. Very, very dark kind of stuff he was attracted to. And, but yeah, some of the artwork and things that, I'm not saying he did the artwork, he may have just like saved it or something. It's very, with everything going on, it goes together like this, especially the books you read, okay? It kind of goes together like this. But one of them, I'll tell you one of them. I'll tell you. I'm looking over to the side like I'm looking at someone, like I'm about to give a secret to you. Fight Club. Apparently, he loved the book Fight Club. Now, I'm a big fan of the book Fight Club. And I'm sure he was a fan of the movie, but I believe he read the book Fight Club. And if you read the book, and everything, it's a little bit different than watching the movie. I mean, we know that, the Brad Pitt character, I believe his name is Tyler. God, remind me, guys, if you read Fight Club. It's been years since I read it. But it's sitting on my shelf. I still have the book. It's so beat up. I just can't think of the names of the characters at the moment. But anyway, the Brad Pitt character is his shadow. And so he kind of black out and become this shadow character. And he was the one, doing the duking and all this stuff and doing all the crazy things all along. And the woman, Marla, I believe was her name, was his anima, okay, or his feminine self. So that's the thing, like he would go to these meetings. Remember when he would go to the meetings and he would sit in on AA meetings and all these different, various things and stuff. That's him trying to express his feminine side. But she would show up and he hated her, right? Okay, he hated her and stuff. And that's the thing. She was his anima. She was his feminine self. Okay, so I don't want to go in too long. But one of the things about having this shadow character, okay, I would say probably is very fitting. And I'm going to kind of look at that in tonight's read. What kind of shadow does he have? And I do kind of wonder if he does have some kind of an attachment here. Which for those who don't understand that and or just happen to watch my video, that could be like a negative entity or something like that. Some kind of dark thing. If you do happen to believe in demons or dark entities or anything like that, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. And a matter of fact, I think I might do 2 decks for this one. Yes, I think I'm going to. I'll be right back. So I'm going to do my shadow deck too. So we're going to do 2 decks for this one. I may as well. Let's try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, okay? So what we're going to do is kind of read with a little bit of the Laundrie family. One of the big news is that Cassie, at first, she said, I never saw Brian when he got back. I haven't seen him. Okay, that was her story. Okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, right? And then it came out that she was on this trip to the Grand Teton. Is that what it's called? The Grand Teton Park. So then, she was kind of stuck. She was kind of stuck, and I think she feels the family kind of threw her under the bus with some things. So then everybody's all over social media, all over the news. Liar, liar, liar. Okay, and all the protesters were outside of her house going crazy. But then she came out. I believe it was just yesterday. She actually talked to the protesters. And now she does admit that she did see him, a couple hours at that park. I believe at the house on the 1st, I believe. And then you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what she said. And then he also came to her house. I believe is what he came to her house with the fam. So, but this is the thing. Now, when they asked her, was there any talk of Gabby on this trip? She was like, no, I'm not necessarily buying that. Because I'll tell you, or like that she didn't talk about Gabby at all. I will tell you, I'm not buying this whole thing. I'm not saying she's in on it. I feel the parents are the main culprits here. But if my brother had been on a trip for a couple months or so with his girlfriend, and he just got back into town, okay, and she lives at the house because she was staying there and everything. One of the things, how was your trip? How was it? How did you guys have a good time? Yeah, where's she at? I haven't seen her in a while. Okay, that's just one of the things you would just naturally ask. How was your trip? How's she doing? Did you guys have a good time? Yeah, where's she at, by the way? Especially if they're always together. Because it for all intents and purposes, it appears they were always together. Okay, they lived together. They were being engaged. Just that you just naturally talk about someone's fiance. So the fact that no conversation, nobody talked, but wouldn't she ask? So I'm not, I don't think she's being 100% honest here. When she's saying that, I'm like, I don't buy it. I think it's just, I'll fess up a little here and here, but I'm not buying it. Okay. That whole family lies. Okay. All right. So we're going to kind of look at the Laundrie family and kind of try to dig a little deeper into what's going on with them and everything like that. And we also, in the last read, obviously with the Dog and Bounty Hunter, if you guys saw that, I did get the cover-up card, okay, for the fam. Let's go ahead and start pulling some cards, though. So we're going to kind of look at that. I want to kind of look a little deeper into, has he got, like, did his shadow take over? Okay, because I really, especially with him really liking that Fight Club story, if you read the book, it's a little different than the movie. You really get, especially if you read some Carl Jung, okay, and you know about the shadow, you clearly see, okay, that the author, okay, read some Jung, Carl Jung, okay. That card just flew out. I just called the card Brother. I was just thinking about Cassie, and I just pulled the card Brother. It actually flew out of my hand right now. Because I'm focusing on the fam here. Okay, and I was thinking about Cassie. I want to kind of know a little bit more about the fam. And a little bit about her, if possible, she'll pop up in this. This is kind of my true comments. Not exactly tarot. But he did fly out, the brother. He is the brother of Cassie. I mean, that literally just hit me in my stomach. Oh, so hard to shuffle. I wish it was like glossy. It's homemade. I just made it, but it works. A lot of us tarot readers have like some crime deck. It's not like you can go buy one. on the shadow. Okay. So the brother card flew out. Yeah, we know that. I'm kind of... No. I think I normally see that for bodies, but I feel it's something different. Oh, I'll show you guys in a minute. I know why I've got these two. I know why I've got these two coming out. I probably should have pulled you down. Oh, there you go. I'm focusing on Cassie and the fam, especially her too. I don't want to. Okay. Okay, and that fits well with what I'm saying about Fight Club, which you'll see in a minute. Okay. Just one more. Okay. Okay. So this is what I get. Let me bring it down for you. I should have probably brought it down for you guys. Let me get that so I can see. Okay. So these are the cards that I pulled from my little true crime deck. Obviously the police are on it. We know that. No surprise. But this is two cards that I pulled together. Now, I've got thrown away and evidence. Now, sometimes I created this for sometimes when somebody is thrown away, like a body thrown away and this and that. But I believe the reason why I pulled the card thrown away and evidence in the same little pull is because the fam has thrown away evidence. Okay, so I bet you they cleaned out that van. And there was something, some kind of stuff there that they got rid of. And unfortunately, that sucks. Okay, that sucks. But the fact I've got the card thrown away and evidence in the same pull makes me feel the fam, okay, threw it away. I did get the mask card. That, for me, when I created this little one, is that a person presents himself a certain way, but they have a dark side on the other. That's exactly what I was saying about his shadow side. Okay, we've got this shadow side thing going on. Okay, so that's the reason why that came up, because that was on my mind. And then I told you the brother card, it flew out to represent. Now, one of the things, meditating on Cassie and the fam, lying. I more focus a little Cassie because, we know the family lies, but they're silent. Okay, so I feel this card is for her. Okay, so I know she's trying to look like, because she wants those protesters off her block, guys. She wants the protesters off her block and everything, okay? She's not being totally forthcoming yet. Not there. And I'm telling you, the big part is that I know she had to have asked about Gabby. She had to have, and everything. So what's the story the fam did? Because I'm sure they asked. You see all my cards, guys. See if they asked. Now, I do get the card water. That kind of makes me feel he could still be on near water on the coast somewhere. It is popping up. But I do got the card wait. So we're going to have to wait a little bit here. Now, remember the last, a couple reads ago, I did get the in a few months card. That may be for when he's found. But we're going to have to wait. Now, it could be Spirit wants him to be by himself for a little bit and everything. And I feel like, to be honest, we got to think, like Spirit would. Spirit would probably like him to do the right thing. Let me scoot you guys over. There's just so many cards there. Spirit would probably like him to do the right thing and then just turn himself in. Do something right here. Look at what's happening in your family. And I'm sure he's found a way to keep up with social media. You could get burner phones that get internet. You could tap into Wi-Fi in various ways and stuff. But I feel the fam is helping him. But no, Cassie's still lying, guys. Cassie's still lying. And that's what I was meditating on, because I was like, I want to see a little bit of her. And the fact the brother card came in is what I'm looking at. Okay, so she's lying. So we're going to look a little bit, Brian Laundrie. I will use the shadow card to deal with his shadow. Okay, but first let's look at the fam. This is one of my other decks. This is my Russian deck. I pull it out for special occasions because this thing does not mess around. And we're going to kind of look at the dynamics of that. You know, the lying, the silence. Oh, the other thing I almost forgot to tell you guys. I almost forgot in case you don't know. So it just came out, the fam had said that the last time they saw Brian before he disappeared was the 14th. And now they're saying it's the 13th. This is what the lawyer came out, you know, and said to everybody. Like, whoops, they made a mistake. Okay, you know, their lawyer, I mean, they need a better lawyer. Okay, because he just makes them look worse and worse. He really does. Okay, he doesn't, you know, he's a real estate lawyer, I think. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's only a real estate lawyer. So, you know, and I'm sure they've got to have some lawyers wanting to take this case. They have to, you know, because they want the notoriety. But they're still dealing with this guy and everything like that. And but apparently they make a mistake. How do you make a mistake like that when your son disappears and the entire country is looking for him? How does that date not burn into your skull? Wouldn't you be like, oh my God, you don't forget the last day you saw someone. You just don't forget that. I mean, you just don't. So these people, and I'm not sure exactly why they fudged on that date, but it's got to be something. Okay, we're almost there. This is a very long deck. I've had this deck for many years. This is one of my oldest decks. So we're going to kind of look at the fam. But yeah, Cassie, there's no way she didn't ask about Gabby. I'm not buying it. So that leads me to, when she asked, what did they say? They said something. There we go. I'm going to turn it this way. Cut the deck. It's just a gorgeous deck. Yeah, the Two of Cups. That's a soulmate card. So that, and I've got this card before. Everything kind of centering around, you know, the big thing was the relationship between Brian and Gabby, the love story. It looks like a love story on all the videos and everything like that. Her documenting this trip very well and everything. And, you know, so everything centers around that story. And then, of course, we've got the Magician, the crossing card. And I've told you guys, the Magician and a missing person read for me. And he is missing. He made himself disappear. Just like a magician can make things disappear, including himself. And that is the opposing card. So we have this relationship. Everything goes horrible and everything. She is passed. He killed her. We know he did. I'm not going to beat around the bush here, guys. We know it wasn't someone else. Okay? You know, nobody goes on the run like this if they're innocent. Okay? He made himself disappear. So we've got that with the Magician. The Four of Cups, that is the one about the man refusing the cups, the pushing away, the ignoring, okay? That is the Laundrie family, basically to the public, to Gabby's family, okay? Just ignoring everyone. And it just makes a matter because they will not speak to anyone. It just makes a matter, okay? And then we've got the Eight of Cups, and that is the walking away card. That's the man who leaves the 8 cups behind, cuts off from all attachments, and goes on a journey. And that obviously is a Brian. I actually saw a tarot reader tonight pull the 8 of Cups card and didn't even interpret it that way. You know, they just very glossed over it. And I'm like, the card's right there. It's the walking away card. And she got the Magician too. And it's like he disappeared. And so some people, they need to interpret these cards. But yes, it normally shows a journeyman. He is walking away. He's got his staff. He's about to go on a very long journey into the night. And he leaves everything behind. And that's Brian. And then we've got the family sitting right next to his side here. And they're just ignoring everybody and shrugging everybody off, which has led to the moon, which is that mystery. But the moon also can be about deception. Okay, it is about deception as well. So we've got that as well. And the moon can make people crazy. It can also make people crazy. So let's go ahead and look a little bit here. Yeah, and then we've got the Nine of Wands here. So we just got that wall. And that's what it normally has. The man that is just kind of defending the fort and so forth. They've got a wall up. They're not letting anybody through. They're not letting anybody in. Nothing. Okay? So I would say the Queen of Wands, looking at that card, I am very much feeling, this I feel is Cassie, because she is an independent queen. I will say that she is being a little independent from the family, because one of the things she said is, my family isn't speaking to me. So she's kind of, and she's opening her mouth, which I know the Laundries hate. Even though she's not being totally honest, she still opened her mouth, and they hate that. Okay, so she's finally like, I've got all these damn protesters. Everybody on social media hates my ass. They think I'm a liar, this, that. I'm going to come out and say something. I don't care. So that's at that independent streak. She does have that. I will give her that. But I still feel she's afraid to talk about that. And yeah, I've got the Six of Coins next to her, which is about giving to the beggars. Okay, so I want you to think of the protesters outside of her house as beggars. Okay, that they are just anything. Give me anything. Give me something. I'm dying here. Give me some kind of information. Okay, so instead of coins, okay, we'll say, give me information. Okay, then she came out and she dropped a few pentacles in their hand and gave a little bit of information. So she came out as the giver and gave. But there was a reversal, in the sense, the reversal is she did not give the whole story. Okay, that's why the Six of Coins is reversed. She gave a little something, and I do believe she was honest about a little bit, but she was forced to. She didn't want to walk out there, guys. Okay, she didn't want to walk out there and face that crowd, but she can't take it anymore. All the stuff that's being said, and then it's like they're covering for Brian, but I don't see the family, oh, let's speak and come out and defend our daughter. They don't give a shit about her. Okay, so yeah, she's had it and everything. So that's definitely what the Six of Pentacles means and stuff. And then we've got the Three of Swords. Just overall, absolutely, this is the heartache card. I know you don't see the heart pierced in this one, but this is the heartache card. And so the thing about it is, overall, the entire case is sad. The entire case is tragic, because these families are devastated and everything like that. I mean, just, we feel much more for Gabby's family. We feel much more. And even look at that Three of Swords. Do you notice this little guy? You always want to pay attention to your art. But see that guy? He's just kind of walking away, and he's got a little dog, or is that a pig or a dog? Oh, that's a pig. But he's just kind of walking away. He's waving. He's waving to these people up here, and he's walking away. So you could say that's Brian walking away from the fam, and walking away from public, and walking away from Gabby's family, walking away from everyone. Okay, I told you this is a good deck. This is my special occasions deck. Okay, now the Six of Wands, what it normally depicts is returning from a journey successfully. Okay, he did return from a journey, and that was with Gabby. But we've got a reversal here, in that it was very negative the way he returned and so forth. I've got the Chariot right next to it. The Chariot sometimes for me can just represent a vehicle. So he returns from the journey, Six of Wands reverse, not in a good way. This was not a successful. He didn't come home to cheers like the Six of Wands guy. He didn't come home to cheers and welcome home, son. Did you have a great time? Oh, yeah, I had a great time. We had so much fun. It's a reversal. He came home and it was bad. And then the Chariot, to represent a vehicle, he came home with the van and no Gabby. Okay? Okay. And then the Nine of Cups in the reverse position, things, you know, a lot of times with the reversal, it can be the wishing card. We wished for one thing and we did not get what we wanted, and that was Gabby to be alive. Okay, so that is right above the Chariot and with the Six of Wands. Okay, so we know that. And then we've got, of course, we've got the Falling Tower. So from that point, he comes home, everything is just falling apart. Everything is falling apart. She's missing, and we know how that is and everything. Let me go ahead and look at this. Yeah, I would say in this case, the Two of Coins, since I'm reading a little darker read, is him juggling two different parts of himself, two different lives. He's my juggler, right? Okay, the two of Coins is a juggler. So he's juggling being this boyfriend, fiance, you know, happy-go-lucky type person and everything. But then he's got this other side. And I feel he's been feeding two wolves for a long time. And he finally decided which one to feed. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely, he's been battling with all of this for a while. And then, of course, the Seven of Swords. The lying and the betrayal. And it's especially what I'm focused on is from this family. And everything else and stuff. Just, you know, and the sneakiness and everything. This is my betrayer. This is my sneaky person. And I'm telling you, they cleaned out that van. They threw away evidence. They threw away evidence. We've got to be patient, though, guys. We got to be patient during this time. I've got the Temperance card here. It's good. Just like I did have the card wait. You know, the hard part is waiting. Waiting for that moment. That moment we know that he can't run anymore and stuff. And everything is very frustrating with it. Let me go ahead and look a little bit more. But things are about to pick up some momentum because I've got the Eight of Wands here. I've got the Eight of Wands. And that is normally when things start moving swift. Now, look at all the little people. See how all the little people are kind of talking to each other. They're kind of like chasing each other, talking to each other. But look centered, these people here kind of whispering in each other's ear. That makes me feel social media is going to be very integral, okay, in catching him. There's something about it. See all these people talking and chattering. All the super sleuths, they're going to be behind part of this. They're going to be behind part of this, finding him. Right now, just with him facing choices. I believe he's overwhelmed with the choices right now with the Seven of Cups, but he's very delusional. I feel this really took him over the edge. I feel this just really took him over the edge. But the end card is the Devil reversed. So the Devil reversed in this case, in this deck, a little different than my dog, the Bounty Hunter. This isn't quite Capricorn in this deck. But the Devil will be caught. I've got a reversal of it this time and stuff. No matter what, the shadow side that was unleashed and stuff, this shadow side will be caught. Okay? So he will be, guys. He will be. Now let's look at a shadow read for those interested. We're going to kind of get into his head. What happened? But yeah, the betrayal right there. But yeah, so I feel Cassie did give some nuggets of truth. She had to. She was forced to. She didn't want to talk. She didn't want to talk. But she was forced to because all the protests, you know, the social media, and then she's upset the family's not coming to her defense, sticking up for her, or anything like that. I have to shuffle this a really weird way, guys. It's rock hard. But yeah, they're just hanging there out to dry and not, you know, and they're not even speaking to her. You know, they won't even talk to her, and that's the daughter. And she's got to feel burned. She's like, oh, the hell with that, I'm coming out. But she didn't tell everything. I really wish she would have. I wish she would just be straightforward. Okay, for Brian with the head. And what's going on in the head and so forth. So I look at the star, and that is especially about, you know, that bright light at the end of the tunnel, you know, good things, hope, and all that. But I want you to kind of look. This is the shadow deck. And notice the head is torn off at the top of this person. Okay, so he may have had, he's struggling with this side, and they're kind of two-faced. Look at the face and everything, trying to be this good guy and all this stuff. But the head is just torn off at the top. Something went wrong with his mind. He snapped. Yeah, there you go. There's the tower. There's the tower. Just everything just went to chaos. Everything went to chaos. What made him snap, though? I feel it was jealousy in some way. I feel it was jealousy in some way. I feel this Seven of Wands energy, I feel really is Gabby and the way she felt toward the end. See, the other person is just kind of in there in the Wands. And the Seven of Wands can be to stand up for yourself as well. So this takes on, remember, this is a shadow deck. It's a very good shadow deck, actually. But one of the things is trying to stand up for herself, but, really being afraid to, not wanting to set him off. Trying to be careful and everything, but she was just trapped. See how they're just kind of stuck in the Wands? She was just kind of trapped in there and really helpless at this point, that she's alone, in these places with him and everything. And what does she do? That's pretty much the thing. And then one of the things he did, definitely, we've got this Four of Pentacles. We've got a little thievery there, but see how we've got that creepy little character and everything kind of reaching on the pentacles. That makes me feel he does have some kind of an attachment. See that? We've got this guy, and he's kind of like, it almost looks like he's trying to shrug it off, but we've got that creepy attachment there and everything that is going on. So I do feel he has some kind of an attachment. Probably being around dark stuff. You keep hanging around dark stuff and reading things like that. Well, yeah. And he definitely had some kind of obsession with things like murder mysteries, things about killing people and stuff. Looking at that Ten of Swords, it can be a murder card for me, especially in missing person reads. I see how that person is just stab, stab, stab. Okay, so this is something he would probably even love this card. This is something that he's really into and very fascinated with. And I feel he, now that this has happened with Gabby, I'm just hoping it doesn't happen to someone else. Is the main thing. And then let's go ahead and see here. Yeah, and I want you to kind of look at this, talking about the family. See how we've got the family above playing chess? They're just playing a game. But look at that little guy hiding at the bottom. So the family is hiding Brian. Okay? And see how they're playing chess? They're playing a game with us. They're playing a game with us, and they're trying to win. They're trying to win by hiding him and doing anything they can that he does not get caught and everything. So he hides down here while these guys are up here above, messing with the public basically by saying nothing and just trying to be very careful whatever move they make. But see, they've got him hidden there at the bottom of the board. So the family's hiding him and everything. And then we have the Four of Wands. The relationship was becoming unstable. Towards the end and everything like that, it started becoming unstable. But I feel, Gabby, you know what, that's young girls, especially when they fall in love, and it's especially serious, especially in engagement, they're going to do everything they can before they walk away. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do everything they can. They love them so much. And I know she loved him. Okay? That, so I know people like, why didn't she walk away? Oh God, and stuff. Ask the millions of DV survivors why it took them time to walk away and everything like that. Ask them and everything. But the Hierophant is that which yokes the lovers together, and he is that which also can pull them apart and everything. But the Hierophant is also, he is about, what is right, versus what is wrong. He's about spiritual knowledge and wisdom. Certain basic traditional values and certain things like love your neighbor as yourself, the golden rule, things like that. Just what is morally good and just. And he definitely slipped off the wagon with this one, definitely. And then the Nine of Pentacles, as I'm doing a shadow deck, we've got this, see that dark mask. We've got that dark mask character and everything. I noticed there's like a little wheel, like he was kind of broken. He's something broke him. I'm not sure exactly what did, the family and everything, I'm not sure exactly the dynamics in that home or anything, but sometimes people can come from a regular, normal family, okay, and they can still, because they dig into this dark type stuff, it kind of feeds them and everything. His card was the Knight of Wands in another read, also because of earth and getting into nature and things like that. But look at this knight here. He's kind of like, he's like a bug, like something that can sting. Okay, he's something that could sting, that can really cause harm. Look at the stinger on that right there. Okay. Remember, shadow deck. I look at the strength card, and this is a much more brutal image than the strength of closing the jaws of the lion, but kind of like it's kind of cruelty in this image, being cruel to this creature here, and just prying its jaws open and just looking in. So I feel this, this more overpowering, Gabby with his strength in an act of cruelty, is more how I see it. But yeah, I'm definitely about an attachment. We get the Queen of Wands again, so the sister is popping up in this read too. I'm telling you, she knows more than she's letting on. Okay, there is something that was said. He probably lied, okay, but still, why won't she just say, yeah, they mentioned Gabby and this is what they said. She won't do it though. But that is sitting next to her. But she's but she's more independent. That Queen of Wands is a very independent. I'm hoping she will come out and just talk a little more and everything like that. I hope that they will come out and talk a little more. And then the Three of Cups, the upside was finding Gabby and everything. It's a bittersweet thing too. It's like, thank God we found her, because the Three of Cups can be a celebration card. Thank God we found her. But it is bittersweet. Notice like the little people were happy to find her, but look at the jaws of the shark coming to eat them. Okay. It's still horrible. The Queen of Swords reverse, I feel, is the mother. So I feel, and I've kind of felt even more so, the mother both the parents are involved, but I feel the mother is way more integral in him hiding and making sure he's hidden, maybe even than the father. Like, she may be more in charge than the father is, just so you know, especially with the Queen of Swords, okay? And when I get a reversal, she could, she could, be even gossipy, cruel, lying, deceitful, and things like that. Okay? So I have a feeling she has more control over this situation. And you got to look at that Queen of Swords there, has a bloody sword. Okay, she's got blood on her hands too. She may have not done the act, but she's got blood on her hands and everything. Let's go ahead and look at. The outcome is the Eight of Pentacles. And I want you to kind of look at this. We have the sun here, which really shining light on the situation. And all the pentacles are actually going into the fire. And pentacles are actually a good symbol, just so you know. They are a good symbol, especially power. And he's just sending them all into the fire. So it's just like he's just like shunning the light here. He's completely shunned the light. And we could say the sun is kind of judging his actions here, for what he has become and everything. But I'm a little concerned because this is about doing the same thing over and over. I will tell you that he has the potential, looking at this, doing the same thing over and over like this, has the potential to do it again. He could potentially do it again. If he really is kind of like these books and got a taste for the kill, so to speak, he could potentially do it again. Okay? So he actually has the capacity to become one of those serial killers. He's at that mentality right now. He's gone so dark to this point that now this has happened that he could potentially do it again. So they got to find him. They got to find him and everything like that. For the most part, there was a sighting on the Appalachian Trail. There was a man, he's convinced that he saw Brian Laundrie. That was October, was it the 2nd? It was right October 1st or 2nd. And I was watching the interview with him, and he's convinced. I mean, he's very seriously convinced that he saw him and everything like that. Matter of fact, let's throw down from this deck. Was that an actual sighting? Let's throw down 2. Well, I get the Ace of Cups, and an ace can be a yes for me. Okay, so that's good. And then I've got the 7 of Wands and stuff. And so I feel that that can be about standing up, standing your ground things, but that could also be kind of coming out and so forth. And could potentially deal with some opposition if you do. So I look at that. That's very interesting. So I've got an ace, which can be a yes in tarot at times when you're doing a read like that. But he kind of came out. He kind of comes out, and he could deal with opposition. He could deal with someone just taking him down. But for whatever reason, he must have been really desperate to get some directions or something. So it is a possibility, because the ace can be a yes. And the 7 of Wands especially come out and possibly deal with opposition about a bunch of people jumping you and things like that. That is a possibility he spoke to this man. And I would not be surprised if he's on the Appalachian Trail right now. He's been on it before. It's very big, vast, real easy to hide for a while. But he can't do it forever. But I know some people are like, is he going to want to get out of the country? You know, go to a place that can't extradite him and everything like that. But when I kind of focus on him, I feel he would be very afraid to go to a country he does not know the language. He does not know the people. Getting around would be hard. You got to have money, right? You got to get a job, right? How's he going to do that? It's going to be real hard. I don't speak the language. I don't know. I don't have a place. He could live off the land a little while, but inevitably he has to come out and get some money. We all need money. We need food. We need water. You can't do it forever. You can live off land, out here in America. But if you're in a land that you don't know anything, that would be very hard. So that's why I feel he would go for the familiar. And so the Appalachian Trail actually does seem well. I actually feel that might be a legit sighting. And I know they're investigating it. The guy was supposed to meet with the FBI. And I think I've heard that there's been other little people sightings. But that dude is convinced that was him. But with the Ace of Cups, which can be a yes, an ace can be a yes in tarot when you ask a question like that, and that 7 of Wands coming out, even though you could deal with opposition potentially and have to fight someone off and everything, that actually may be legit. I hope you guys enjoyed my read.